Hi, everyone. I'm Steve here as usual once a week with Dr. Nario. Dr. Nario is in Reno, Nevada. The clinic there is Biointegrative Health Center, where they do all kinds of treatments that I'm addicted to. So, thanks for being with us, Doctor.
Steve, thank you for having me again. Okay, addicted, that's a good word.
If you guys like fitness and health tips, especially for people over 50, please subscribe to the channel. And we do interviews with nutritionists, personal trainers, and so on. I'm a health club owner. I own multiple health clubs, multiple different business models. So please subscribe if you like this stuff, and you can hear some of the interviews and so on. Now today, I'm going to tell you how to buy peptides. Not only how to buy peptides, but where you can buy peptides and um, where you know that this is a safe product, because these peptides, or there's coenzymes. I buy NAD here also. The company is Invigor, is the name of it, Invigor Medical. And if you use the promo code Vitality1, that's Vitality, the number one, you will get $10 off whatever you buy. Now, here's what I like about this. And I've been buying and buy peptides and different compounds from Invigor. I've been doing it for many, many years. I trust them because I get the compound. There's a prescription written for me. They evaluate it. It's very quick and easy. Just a simple little questionnaire, but a doctor will approve this and write the prescription. Then, very important, the medication or the peptide or whatever you want to call it, whatever you're buying, will come from a compounding pharmacy, a legitimate compounding pharmacy. So you know that this is a legit substance. It's not just something you're buying online and you don't really know what's in it, because these are licensed physicians and compound pharmacies that can send this to your doorstep, most doorsteps. So check out the link in the description and use the code Vitality1. You will get $10 off. And more importantly, you can trust this. And again, if you guys like to hear about different vitamins and supplements and so on, and what I'm doing, what my protocol is, I'm over 60. Please subscribe to the channel, and just love to hear your comments with this, any product that you decide to buy there. Love to hear your comments. Put questions in the comment section, and keep me posted, because I'm really excited about this. I wouldn't mention this, or I wouldn't promote this if I wasn't using these peptides and if I didn't really believe in them. And it's something that I'm excited about because it's been a life changer for me. Well, it's not. I mean, they're good
Sure,
treatments,
I understand.
glutathione, plaque
Right.
X, stuff like that. Common ones that I do up there, but I've done pretty much all of them. So, we're going to talk about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and I'm like just banging on the table here and trying to get people to pay attention to their hormones. So, um, and I think, men and women, can have similar symptoms, right? So first, what are some of the symptoms? What would alarm somebody or make them think that maybe they have low
Right. Well,
testosterone?
Steve, again, you can apply testosterone in both male and female. And again, with most obvious physical complaints or manifestations would be with low testosterone is muscle mass. Remember when you're working out so hard, you get all that muscle built up, but now the tone is not there. It's shrinking. Like flab bags in the arms, they're looking like flotation devices for women most of the time. And again, libido. Libido is gone, meaning gone are the days that you were a sex machine for your partner, and now you're a couch machine instead eating chips and drinking beer. And for men, specifically, weak erections. Flag is still up, before, and now it's half mast. Even with all the pep talk, it's not listening. And then for women, it's just really more of low libido, hard to orgasm. And I think that's kind of like the tit for tat when you compare that to the male and the female. And also energy, cartwheeling through life before and now flat as a pancake, right? So just changes in aging, which we do not address. We think that it's so-called normal, and it's a very easy problem to fix. And when you do fix it, it will bring you back to your youthful self.
Yeah, brain fog's
Oh,
another one,
sure,
right?
yeah, that's. Oh, I'm gonna give you a little hint of that also.
So I'm on TRT, and as you know, and my body responds to a very small dose. Um, you know all this. I'm talking to all of you out there. Um, 100 milligrams a week, which is uh, kind of a small dose, but it's a dose that I've been on for many years, and my body responds well to it. But I didn't have any symptoms. My total testosterone was 175, 200, and I didn't have any symptoms. So you guys maybe go check it, get your testosterone checked, because even if you don't have any symptoms, you don't want a total testosterone if you're a man under 200, correct?
That is correct. That is correct. I mean, even 300. That's kind of like my our cutoff. So I mean, 200 is really like you're in the dumpsters there.
And we were talking before we got on here, just because you're 450 or 500, you could still have symptoms, right? Because maybe your baseline is 1,000 and now it's 400. So that could be an issue,
Right. And
right?
also, you have to remember that total testosterone is something that's always everybody was looking at, but it's really has to be the free testosterone, meaning the total testosterone is
Sure.
binded to proteins and albumin, rendering it ineffective. So we calculate for that in a special way.
So what are some of these concerns for people with low testosterone? What are some of the
Well, Steve,
dangers?
we need to be aware of this because we always have this connotation that it's aging, and again, the symptoms that I mentioned when we initially started the program, and those are symptoms that are real. But there are more dangerous symptoms that I'm worried about that can develop in the next few years. And as you mentioned, cognition. No, when for example we left the stove on and house now turn on fire, subtle things like car keys or receiving change that we don't remember, the brain runs on testosterone. So that's why we need to get it at the right level so we can think, we can memorize, and we can be sharp. Another one would be irritability or mood. Menopause, usually known for this for women, for the wives, and andropause for men who again gets moody. And for women, specifically osteoporosis, but also men, I guess, is concerned about this. So older men suddenly having unexplained fractures, just got a hip check in basketball and broke a hip. So the bones rely on this hormone to be hard and tight. And also, the most important one for me, strokes and heart attacks. The lower your testosterone, the higher the chances you do get these types of conditions. And this is usually common due to cholesterol and blood pressure, as we see it. But also, of course, we need to understand because of, this is low, again, the low levels and how the complications occur.
So who should be considered, or who should consider testosterone replacement therapy?
Mhm.
I mean, I know there's numbers and there's symptoms, but how do you kind of determine who you would consider for testosterone
Well,
replacement
Steve,
therapy?
unfortunately, almost anybody probably who's at 40 years old and above. Why? At 40, testosterone is dropping. And that's why we always get baseline levels and then we monitor moving forward. And again, insurance probably does not want to do this just for just nothing, for checking. That's why we put the symptoms in there, especially fatigue, ED, low libido, and by the time, but unfortunately when you have these symptoms, it's already low. And again, the theme of our medicine is preventative, and we are stuck in a system that's not being preventative. And we when we talk about weak erections that not give you that much need home runs, low muscle mass and you look like a dried up prune, all these symptoms will not kill you. The most important systems that I mean, systemic complications that I just mentioned are the illnesses that I mentioned: cognition, Alzheimer's now, even heart attacks and strokes. This will now increase the chance of death. And low T actually has the bigger correlation to these conditions, and that's why we need to fix it so that in the future we're not going to encounter these problems.
Okay, so what I kind of hear you saying is anybody over 40 should be getting their testosterone
Right, at
checked,
least get a
right?
baseline.
But yeah, well, and it's not going to hurt you if you're 25 to know what your
Right.
baseline is, right? I mean, get it checked at age 20, 25. That's where your baseline's going to
Mhm.
be. And then you can kind of tell, oh, wow, it's dropped a lot. I'm still in the normal range, but now I'm 40, 42, or whatever. I'm having symptoms. And yes, my testosterone's been cut in half. So is that kind of how you read it?
Right, right. So the baseline actually is something that I use for patients when I actually want to get them closer to how you ask them, do you want to feel like you're 40? Then you go back to that level again. For example, I have patients that I see for like 10 years. So at least I want to get that level back to that. I'm not saying exactly, but at least closer to that.
Right. Okay, so what do you do? There, I know there's many different methods to replace a lack of
Mm.
testosterone, TRT. So, what are some of the things that you do in the
Right.
clinic?
So there's quite a few, Steve, but I'm gonna maybe mention the most prominent ones. So one is clomiphene, and this is increasing again testosterone uh, in a way that it blocks estrogen from talking to your pituitary gland in the brain, and this kind of tricks the brain into thinking that the hormone testosterone levels are low, and thus releases more hormones from the testicles. So that's why this is something that it's like faking out the brain, right? And you would see this or hear more about this when people are interested in fertility, virility, and with men who has low testosterone. The other one is HCG. HCG again is something that used in fertility cases, and even just trying to increase testosterone without affecting the size of your testicles. And how it works is HCG is actually luteinizing hormone, meaning this hormone triggers the release of testosterone from the testicles. So it's just mimicking a brain hormone. And the thing here is, it can only be given through most of the time through injections. That's why it's a little challenging, also the expense of it. And lastly, the real deal, we give testosterone, and only given to older men most of the time who are done with childbearing or having children or family, for the reason that it permanently lowers the sperm count. It's sometimes hard to recover when you get on testosterone at an early age. And different modalities, the most common one that I always use here in the practice would be injections. Number one, like testosterone enanthate, cypionate, and undecanoate. And these are just different types that are related to duration and onset of action. There are creams also that's common in my practice, easy to adjust, easy to apply, and some not that common, but because of the expense, skin patches like androderm gels, androgel, and even implants and pellets. There's such a thing. We don't like the patches, buccal patches, or the mouth patches, and even oral testosterone for the reason that these are actually promoting clotting tendencies. And there's a newer one, intranasal. This is very new and very expensive as well.
So, I think you guys usually stick with the creams or the gels and the
That is
injections, right?
correct. It's just so easy for the patient to do.
All right, everybody. Great information. We thank you, doctor. This is really important. You guys get your hormones right. And maybe, you turn 40, 45, and all of a sudden you gain weight and you're eating the same. That could be testosterone too,
That's
right,
right.
doc?
Anything could be. It's a dark cloak hiding underneath it. So everything can be testosterone deficient.
Yeah. So, you guys make sure your doctor puts that on there. Just know where it is. It's not going to
Right.
hurt you. So, Dr. Nario, thanks for being with us. Dr. Nario, as you know, is in Reno Biointegrative Health Center. Thanks
Thank you,
again.
Steve, for having me. And as we all know, knowledge is power. And thank you for letting me provide you with the edge in longevity and health maintenance, which I call the biological edge or the bio edge.